Explosive, awkward, headline-grabbing. That's how critics described the moment when Meghan Markle once again found herself at the center of intense public scrutiny, this time over what many viewers called her bizarre ability to smile directly at the camera during serious discussions. The controversy reignited after commentary surrounding her televised appearances, including reactions tied to conversations on The Graham Norton Show hosted by Graham Norton, where body language and tone became talking points across social media. What was meant to be another composed public moment instead turned into a viral debate. Was that calm smile confidence under pressure, media training at work, or something more calculated? Today we're breaking down the facts, the criticism, and why this seemingly small detail keeps fueling a bigger narrative around her public image. First, let's be clear, this isn't about inventing drama. Meghan has faced years of intense media analysis since marrying into the British royal family in 2018. Every gesture, every expression, every word has been dissected. Body language experts frequently comment on her composure during interviews, noting her tendency to maintain steady eye contact with the camera. Supporters say that shows confidence and media professionalism, understandable for someone with an acting background from her time on Suits. Critics, however, argue that during particularly serious or emotional moments such as discussions about family tensions, mental health, or royal disputes, her controlled smile can appear disconnected from the gravity of the subject. That contrast is what fuels the debate. When commentators linked this habit to televised talk show appearances and panel discussions, comparisons naturally emerged. Graham Norton himself is known for humor and sharp observational commentary, often highlighting awkward celebrity moments. While there has been no verified instance of him launching a direct attack, media pundits and online commentators framed the situation as though the host's reputation for wit symbolized the public's raised eyebrow. In entertainment culture, sometimes the narrative grows larger than the actual exchange. The perception becomes the headline. And perception, especially in celebrity media, often carries more weight than the clip itself. Now let's talk about why this sticks. Meghan's critics argue that public figures discussing serious matters, particularly topics involving royal family disputes or personal hardship, are expected to mirror the emotional tone of the topic. When Prince Harry and Meghan stepped back from royal duties in 2020 and later gave high-profile interviews, including the one with Oprah Winfrey, tone became everything. Viewers debated authenticity versus presentation. So when Meghan smiles in moments that some viewers interpret as solemn, critics frame it as performance. But here's the factual counterpoint. Media training often encourages composure, steady posture, and controlled facial expressions to avoid appearing flustered. In high-pressure interviews, especially involving global headlines, maintaining a calm demeanor can be strategic, not suspicious. Still, perception drives online engagement. On platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and X, short clips strip away context. A 3-second smile becomes the defining narrative. Influencers and commentators replay the footage, zoom in, slow it down, and suddenly it looks exaggerated. That's how modern media ecosystems work. The bizarre ability narrative thrives because repetition makes it feel intentional. But there's no verified evidence suggesting malicious intent behind a smile. What exists is interpretation, and interpretation varies wildly depending on whether the viewer already supports or opposes her. Another key fact: Meghan's public image has been polarized since long before any talk show chatter. British tabloids have historically portrayed her in a more critical light compared to American media outlets, which often frame her as a target of unfair scrutiny. Academic studies examining press coverage of the Duchess have shown tonal differences between UK and US reporting. That polarization shapes how audiences interpret even neutral gestures. So when critics say, "She's smiling at the wrong time," supporters counter with, "She's maintaining grace under relentless pressure." Both reactions stem from broader narratives already in place. It's also worth noting that facial expression interpretation is deeply subjective. Psychological research on nonverbal communication shows that observers frequently project their own assumptions onto ambiguous expressions. A composed half-smile can be read as empathy by one viewer and insincerity by another. In high-profile interviews where lighting, editing, and camera angles are carefully controlled, micro-expressions are magnified. Add slow-motion replays and dramatic commentary, and suddenly what was subtle becomes theatrical. That amplification effect is not unique to Meghan, but because of her global profile, the reaction is amplified tenfold. Now let's address the criticism head-on. Is it fair to question authenticity in public figures? Absolutely. Public trust matters. When celebrities speak on serious issues, audiences want emotional alignment. But fairness also requires consistency. Many politicians, actors, and media personalities maintain neutral or composed expressions during grave discussions, and it rarely becomes a defining scandal. The intensity of scrutiny toward Meghan suggests the issue may be less about the smile itself and more about the broader cultural debate surrounding her role, her departure from royal duties, and her continued media presence.